Are you honest with yourself? Like, do you tell yourself the truth? Do you speak the truth to yourself? Because if you can't be honest with yourself, how can you be honest in your marriage or in your relationship? So often we have been developed to not be honest about who we are, where we are, what's going on with us, like the real inside stuff. And so we show up into our relationships and we're giving somebody that they didn't think they were getting. They thought they were getting a better version of you, perhaps, or a different version of you at the very least. And in our relationships, it's so important that we can be honest with ourselves. So in all of my travels in professional sports, being around locker rooms, I've saw this sort of theme. I would walk into a training room where a guy might have been injured from the game or from a few weeks ago, and watch coaches come by him and say, "Hey, can you go this week? You good? You straight? You good, right?" And they'll go, "Yeah, coach. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm." But I just talked to him 5 minutes ago, and he was like, "Chap, Rev, I'm struggling." They used to call me Rev when I was an NFL chaplain. They would say, "I'm struggling, man. I'm struggling. Pray with me." Right? They were in a different space, but in order to preserve their space on the team or to impress the coach or to not lose a job, which means losing your money, we sometimes are not honest. And then we get into relationships and we built this inability to be emotionally honest. I want to talk in this video about how to become emotionally honest. Another phrase would be like how to become self-aware so that you can have better relationships. Because as a marriage coach, I'm constantly trying to help people connect, deepen their connection, strengthen their connection. But I'm telling y'all, a lot of people lie. A lot of people just don't tell the truth. They don't tell themselves the truth. They don't tell others the truth. They're not honest about where they are, where they've been, what they've done, how it's affected us. Is this too much for a relationships video? All right, just hang tight because it's going to get better. It's going to get gooder. All right, so you gotta learn to be emotionally honest. And I'm concerned that a lot of relationships are suffering because we are not emotionally honest. So why is this so important? Because again, you're going to show up in a relationship with somebody. Maybe you already have a marriage or you got a significant other. Who they getting when they get you? Like, who do your children get when they get you? All right, let's go to the deep end of the pool. Let's talk about this. So let me give you a definition for self-awareness. I've been working on this for a long time, and I think this can be helpful to you. What is self-awareness? It is the conscious knowledge of one's own character, feelings, motivations, and desires. And I would add needs, right? It's like a conscious knowledge. You're aware of what you feel, who you are. You're aware of your desires, your needs, why you do stuff. Like that guy who was sitting on the training table, right, with his knee in question, his career in jeopardy. Had he just said, and it's, that guy could be any guy, just so you know, like, "Hey, bro, I'm scared. Hey, coach, I wish I could go, but I don't know if I can put all this pressure on it. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm trying my best, but I don't know," right? Just be honest. Like, I don't even know what to say right now. All right, so let me give you like 5 questions you should ask. Here's the first one. Who are you? Who are you? Like, do you know you? Do you know yourself? Have you taken time to get to know yourself? How you gonna get to know your wife or your boo, right? Or your husband, your guy? How you gonna get to know the other person and you don't know you? Like, who are you? Like, who are you when you're stressed? That might be a better question. Like, because who you are when you're stressed is who you are. Who you are when you're stressed is who you are. You may want to get really clear, like, when I'm stressed, this is how I move. This is how I flow. This is how I show up. because this is who I am. That's not a judgment. That's not a negative. It's just, how you're wired right now. It's just what your habits are. Who are you really? Do you know who you are? Have you spent time with you, enough time with you to say, this is who I am. This is how I get down. This is how I handle situations when I'm in a pickle. This is how I handle stress. I was working with a group of couples a few nights ago, and I said, ask your spouse who you are when you're stressed. They're like, because your spouse knows, right? We're not always objective about ourselves, but our spouses or our partners or significant others, they may be around us enough that when we're stressed that they can tell us exactly who we are when we're stressed. I think it's important that you get to know yourself. Spend some time, reflect, journal, so that you can get to know yourself, so that you can give your partner clarity about you. Because y'all know a lot of people out here gaming, like they're trying to front, they're presenting somebody else that they can't sustain when the rubber meets the road. They can't sustain that person because it takes a lot of work to be somebody that you're not. It takes a lot of work to pretend that you're somebody that you're not. It takes a lot of energy trying to be somebody else. Just like, who am I? All right. Where am I? Like, can you locate yourself emotionally? Like, where am I really at this stage of my life? Where am I? Like, where am I? What is it that I want? Where am I trying to go? What am I dealing with right now? Where am I? Right? Like, try to not move so fast that you can't figure out where you are. Where am I in my career? Where am I in my growth, in my development? What parts of my life am I leaving under-nurtured, explored? Like, you're not exploring parts about you that you've kind of suppressed because you're like, I ain't got time, I'm gonna learn, then I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Like slow down. Like, where are you really? Are you disappointed with where you are? Are you struggling with where you are? Are you excited about where you are? Are you amped about where you are and where you're going? Where are you? God asked Adam a powerful question one day. After Adam and Eve had eaten from the tree in the garden, and God said, don't touch that tree. Don't eat the fruit from that tree. Because if you do, when you do, he said, when you do, you will surely die. And they didn't die physically. They died relationally. They died in relationship to God. They died in relationship to each other. They died in relationship to themselves. They couldn't even tell themselves the truth. They went and started covering themselves up. Come on, help me talk. How many of us cover ourselves up because we don't want to face the truth about where we are? God said, Adam, where are you? It wasn't like God didn't know where Adam was. God knew exactly where Adam was. God was like, Adam, where are you, bro? Where are you? Where are you? Right? This is a question for you. Where are you? Are there things that you're covering up about your life, that you're hiding, right? You got your fig leaves on like they had on, right? God said, who told you were naked? Are you carrying shame about something? Because Adam and Eve were covered up because they were ashamed of some parts of their lives, right? Like, you can't get better if you don't know where you are. Where you are. Like, maybe you're in a situation where you're like, man, I'm not even feeling this. Like, maybe with a team, you're like, I don't even really want to be here. Maybe, like, and I'm not talking about just always complaining. I'm just talking about being honest about where you are any moment, any given day. Adam, where are you? By the way, until you can locate yourself with relation to God, it's going to be hard to locate yourself. But it's hard to even know yourself if you don't know yourself compared to how God sees you, loves you, cares about you, has plans for you. So I would encourage you, like, try to get to know God so you can get to know you. All right. So who are you? Where are you? Let's give you another question here. How about this? Do you accept you? Do you accept yourself? Like your height, your weight, your features. Like, do you accept you? Like, can you accept you? Because if you don't accept you, how you gonna expect somebody else to fully appreciate you? Like it'll never be enough if you don't accept you. I'm not talking about accepting wrong things that we do. That's a whole different thing, because we all got shortcomings and failures and all that. That's not what I'm talking about. But like, do you accept yourself? Like, do you value you? Or are you always comparing yourself? Do you feel like you don't stack up, like you're not enough? Like, do you hear voices in your brain from maybe from your mom, your dad, from your coaches, like, I'm just not enough? Like, hey, stop that. Accept yourself. This is who I am. I love myself. I'm grateful for who God made me. I'm grateful for the talents, the skills, the gifts, the abilities that He's given me. Listen now, because if you don't accept yourself, your partner is going to have a hard time propping you up. Like, you ever met somebody whose self-esteem was so low that you're like, listen, like, girl, like, bruh, I can't keep propping you up. I can't be the one to keep blowing wind under your wings. I'm not the one who can keep putting air in your balloon so you can soar. You got to start accepting you and believing in you. Ooh, I don't know who I'm talking to today on this video, but you are there, and this is for you. Do you accept yourself? Here's the next question, next to last question. Like, how are you? Like, how you doing? Like, we're talking about being emotionally honest, being self-aware. How are you doing? Like, you don't have to fake the funk if you're not doing great, right? You don't have to always be on cloud nine. Like, how are you, right? How are you? Like, how are you really? How are you really doing? How are you doing in your mind? How are you doing in your spirit? In like the inner parts of you. I ain't talking about how much money you got. Listen, if you up because your money's up, you're gonna be down when your money's down. Come on and help me talk somebody. If you're up because the crowd is cheering you, you're gonna be down when they're booing you. How are you? Like, how are you? You don't want how you're doing to be relative to what other people think about you. When there's adulation and applause, like, I'm great, I'm the man, I'm the girl, I'm that girl, right? But when they not liking you on IG, and ain't nobody caring about your TikToks, or when they start coming for you, how are you? I'm telling you, if you can learn to get clear about how you're doing, it won't matter what other people think about how you're doing. Like, you'll appreciate like that people care, but I'm saying your state doesn't have to depend on other people. It doesn't have to depend on what the coaches say. Don't worry, I'm coming to the relationship part. This is all about relationship, I promise you. But you got to get these questions clear so that when you're relating to your bride or your spouse or your boo, whoever it is in your close relationship, right? You got this stuff clear because you are self-aware and you're able to be emotionally honest. How are you? By the way, you want to learn how to be transparent. That's so key. That we'll talk about that in another video. Here's a big question. Who does your partner get when they get you? You should ask them, like, who do you get mostly when you get me? Like, how do I show up? How do you experience me? Like, do they get somebody who's selfish to the core? Do they get somebody who is narcissistic, somebody who's all about themselves? Like, don't run too fast with that. Don't run too hard with that. Like, you're a narcissist. No, don't do that. Like, don't be diagnosing nobody, right? But ask them, let them tell you, who do they get? They might be like, yeah, you kind of moody. You know, I'll never know what I'm going to get when I get you, right? I never know where I stand when I'm standing next to you. Like, who do they get when they get you? I was talking with a client of mine, a couple today, and I asked him this very question. I said, who does your spouse get when they get you? And he goes, yeah, I started thinking about that question, and it opened up a whole new world for our marriage, because now I'm starting to think about how she experiences me and what it must be like for her on the other end of my rants or my, whatever it is. And I asked her, I said, so how about for you? She said, yep, I'm starting to get it, that he gets this when I shut down, when I pull away, when I, go in too often about the little things that really aren't that big a deal, right? Who do they get when they get you? Hey, you want to grow to be emotionally honest? I'm telling you, you want to learn to be self-aware, because if you want to grow like a real relationship, you don't want to be bouncing all over the place from one relationship to the next, right? Every time you show up in a relationship, they're getting a different person. Or you keep showing up somebody and they discover like, that's not who I signed up for. I'm just saying, you want to learn to be emotionally honest with yourself so you can build healthy relationships with your wife, your significant other, with your children, right? This is so key and foundational that I've seen it revolutionize relationships, revolutionize marriages. You want to learn how to be honest with yourself, to become self-aware. And when you do, it's going to take you to new heights, and it's going to take your relationship to new heights. All right. So become honest emotionally. Be more self-aware. That's the whole game today. That's the whole game. I hope this was helpful to you. Hey, I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. But stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to other people about yourself, right? I don't mean to call you a liar, but I'm like, hey, let's be honest so you can be a blessing to the people who've been assigned to your life.